Okay, so hello everybody. I'm Leesie Mappes and I'm with Deanna Pierce and Chrissy Kay from twinflamesuniverse.com. And we're here to talk about our very brand new product, the Twin Flame Ascension School and Life Purpose Class Sermons. And I brought Deanna and Chrissy here because they were instrumental in the making of this. So Chrissy Kay is our editor. She felt the call and she really was instrumental, the creator, the artist behind the sermon. So I'm bringing her on here. We'll ask her questions about the making of this and just really learn about what sermons are, why you will benefit from having them, and the kind of spiritual meaning behind them in a larger scale. So just welcome everybody. We're gonna ask that as we're talking, if you'd like to ask a question of me, of Chrissy, or of Deanna, to please comment and I'll be fielding those questions. Alrighty. So Chrissy, you
Hi.
Hello.
Hi everyone. Hi.
You felt inspired to create this new product. Can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to do that?
Well, what inspired me to get involved in directing the content of sermons? I saw it being posted, and I knew when Jeff posted it in the forum, telling us about it. I knew in my heart it was my work to do. I kind of was in, but I wasn't really involved until Jeff asked me to get involved, and that's really what ignited me in taking it on and going all in with it. Yeah, I just chose to answer the call there.
Great. And so why do you feel you were the perfect one to do that?
Oh, because I know Jeff and Shaleia's work very intimately, like no one else does. I think we all know it in our own ways, and I know it in mine. And I've studied this work very similarly when I got my doctorate degree. That's the level of effort I put behind their work and their body of work. And I know it like no one else does in that way. And so I was the perfect person to lead that direct that content team and really dive into the content in an intimate way to produce this work, because that's what we as a community have earned and what we deserve. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so can you talk a little bit about what a sermon is in regards to Jeff and Shaleia's work?
Yeah. So the sermons are moments that we've had in class that are gifts that are co-created between the students, Jeff and Shaleia, and God. And because Jeff and Shaleia showed up to teach us and the live students said yes, we started our relationship. And as we've chosen to heal, we received these moments of absolute pure divinity of Mother and Father God coming through Jeff and Shaleia for the healing that we completed. And the live students, I don't care if they showed up and talked every class, or they came and just held space in every class. Those people who showed up every day, every class, and created this work, they're heroes. And I love them very much for their choices. And they've earned this. They did the work and they showed up and healed so we could have this gift. And if they're live students who haven't purchased this yet, by God, have you earned it? Claim your good and the gift that you co-created with God here and with Jeff and Shaleia, because it wouldn't be here without you. And that includes the students who are virtual students who are watching this. I was live Life Purpose class, but only at the end. And I was a virtual student of Life Purpose class for the majority of it. but I was there in every single class, and I was healing in every single class with the class as they moved through it, as those that are watching it now do. And you've earned this. You've earned these precious moments that have come through Jeff and Shaleia for us. And so claim it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's that really touched my heart, just to learn anew that these sermons are co-creations with God from the live students working together, with Jeff and Shaleia, and so it's a truly divine product that has great meaning behind it. I bought my copies on Friday when they launched, and I've been watching, and I just feel in my heart as I watch, like the energy and the love that was produced in the classes in each and every sermon. And I'm so grateful, and I'm grateful to you, Chrissy, because your love of these classes and your love of Jeff and Shaleia and their work also made it possible. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And everything Chrissy just said, and that emotion she had, that's why she was the perfect person right there.
Yeah, Jeff and Shaleia's work is created perfectly. If you look at it from a cadence perspective, we're taught, and they tell us this, that start from the beginning and work to the end, include life purpose class, and move through the work in order. And I've done that more than once. And it's true. You start with Wednesday, and then you have Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it's Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday. It's a cadence. And as you look at that energetically at a vibrational level, and what's going on in the classes, the classes start, Jeff and Shaleia share. They share their life, they share their lessons, they share what they are learning. And then we move into healing, and the students heal based on the sharing and the lesson that Jeff and Shaleia provide. And we heal, and we heal, and we heal. And then we're gifted these moments, these sermons at the end of a healing cycle. It's a gift from God at the end of every healing cycle that the students have earned through working with Jeff and Shaleia and healing in these areas and healing separation consciousness. And that continues, and it goes, if you go Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's share, heal, 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 sermon, share, heal, heal, sermon, share, heal, 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 sermon. And as you go deeper, and we go deeper into the wounds, into healing, it goes even more into, it goes Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, share, heal, 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 sermon, share, heal, heal, sermon, ground, share, heal, heal, sermon, ground. And it just keeps going like that. And these pieces I've picked and I've plucked and woven together are those high vibrational set points of the sermons. And for people who are new to this work, who have absolutely never purchased anything, don't know where to start, this is like the tasting menu. This is like if you've ever been to a fine dining establishment, a Michelin level establishment, like a Chef Ramsay or one of these chefs, you can choose the tasting menu of the night, and it's the chef's best creations, a lot of the chef's traditional creations and their best creations, and you get a taster of it. And so then the next time you come back, you can, get whatever it is that you want, or, whichever one you loved. And this is ultimately like the fine dining taster menu of Jeff and Shaleia's best work.
Perfect. Yeah, that is very appetizing. I can't wait. I've dove in a little bit to my sermons, and I own all of Jeff and Shaleia's products. I already own the classes from which the sermons came. But there's something different about having the sermons and owning them where I have, like you said, like the taster menu or the tapas menu or whatnot, where you can choose those high vibrational segments that came as a result of those classes anytime you want. I actually listened to a sermon today in between a couple of activities, and it was, I was able to look at the title of the sermon. I'm like, ooh, that one looks really good. This is exactly, the title of it talked to me, and I selected it and I listened to it, and it was a shorter one. I think it was 8 minutes long, and it really helped me and gave me my next step in my life. And the classes are that way too. And so, in my opinion, it's really good to have both, because the sermons are really easy to access, quick. You get the taster or the high vibrational product of the classes, but the classes also help you to go deeper and work through those layers. So I do like that this is just adding to what is possible for all of our students here at the school to choose the pathway that's best for them. And I firmly believe that everybody that meets Jeff and Shaleia, meaning like interacts with them on YouTube, meaning watches them, you meet them by listening or watching their classes. You're having a very personal, deep connection with them by watching their classes. And you'll notice this because what they say in the moment that you watch them happens to be exactly what you need moving forward. And this has happened. I don't know has anybody here, you want to comment, like you've been having a block you're working through or just something going on, and then all of a sudden, whatever Jeff and Shaleia product you're watching will talk about that. If you just raise your hand or say me in the comments so we see you. So yeah, it's just really funny how that works. But this is another way to connect with our teachers that teach us how to have harmonious union with our life purpose and our twin flame. So that's a really excellent thing that you felt inspired to get behind as an artist. I really feel like it's like taking a symphony that has already been created and then making a new symphony from that symphony. Just beautiful artistry there.
Yeah, it's taking the favorite notes. These are our favorite classes. These are the students' favorite classes. In the LPC class, it's the story of Jim. Everyone resonates with the story of Jim. That's the life that we're living right now. And you listen to the story of Jim, and you can listen to it at any time in your journey and realize where you are in that story and how you're moving through it and how you're farther along than you were when you started. It's an all-time favorite LPC. It's a sermon now. And the business models, one of my favorite the 4 business models. Jeff goes over the 4 divine business models, and he deep dives into which one are you created for, which one are you which one is aligned in your purpose and why, and how to move from one business model to another. It's an all-time favorite one. We've got the low-hanging fruit episode that everyone loves. It's right there for you. The cat drapes are in there. The all-time favorite LPCs are in there. Jeff and Shaleia's story from poverty to wealth is available and in there. They're right there. It's just a slice of divine nectar available for you instantly by just clicking. And I trimmed all the fat. I trimmed everything out. It's just these pure divine concentrated moments that are available to us in this gift and what's provided. And the same thing with Twin Flame Ascension School. Like our favorite classes, the Second Coming of Christ, one of our all-time favorite classes, is in there. And you can watch it. You can go in and say, I'm having this upset or whatever. There's a sermon in there for you. And the best part, if you don't know, I found out people didn't know this today, when you're watching the sermons, if you want to go deeper into the full class and you remember, you just have to click on the sermon name and it'll take you to your full class. It will take you directly to the link that takes you into the full class so you can watch it. And if this entices you to purchase the full content, it'll take you to that page, and you can just go in and purchase the full content if you're not a member already. So I just love it.
Perfect. It's just so divine. Like, it just seems juicier and juicier. Deanna,
That was a sermon from
like
Chrissy.
it is
A sermon from Chrissy about sermons. I love that. It's really like, it's like a best of album. Yeah. And
that's a great way to look at it. Yeah, like a best of album from
like all-time greatest hits. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
And I firmly sorry.
Deanna. I'm sorry.
I firmly believe that like everyone on the planet will eventually own all of Jeff and Shaleia's products, of course. But I love the sermons because they're a whole new doorway. Because before it was either you just like had the free classes, or you had to go all in. And for a lot of people, they kind of were like, well, I want more than the free classes, but I'm just not ready to make what seems like kind of a big commitment. And this gives a whole new avenue for people to access the work.
Yeah,
new entry point.
Exactly. Speaking of entry point, so I actually I don't know if everyone knows this, but PayPal offers a PayPal credit system where you can do financing with us for $111 a month for 5 months for TFAS, or $111 a month for 3 months for LPC sermons, or you can buy them outright, $4.99 for TFAS sermons or $2.99 for LPC sermons. I wanted to buy mine outright, and I used PayPal credit because it's there's 0% APR for 6 months. So it's more economical to do it that way than to have it financed by Twin Flames Universe. So just wanted to let everybody know that it's a great way you can own it. You just, there's so many ways. Exactly. There's so many ways. I wanted to talk with you, Deanna, because you were one of the reviewers, and I know that Chrissy was the artist behind it, but you reviewed it. So you've actually watched all the sermons in order. And I know that you've also watched all the classes. So wondering, could you talk a little bit about your experience watching the sermons as opposed to the classes? How did you feel when you watched them?
Yeah, so like when I first found the teaching, I kind of binge watched all the classes. And after a while, I kind of noticed that I did have to slow down. And like each class, when you watch it, it is a bit of a commitment. That's not a bad thing, but it is a bit of a commitment to watch a full class. And there's so much that's going on. Like every 30 seconds is like an eternity of wisdom. And so to go through all of the classes, while it's worth it and everyone should definitely do it, there's also times when I've been thinking like, oh, I remember at some point somewhere, someone said something really awesome about this thing. And like, I wish I could find it. Because, the whole body of work it's so expansive. And watching the sermons, it just felt, I guess, simpler, like distilled. And it was a whole new, it was a whole new way to experience the teaching, because when you watch the full class, and then watch another full class, like I don't know, it's like the same as watching a bunch of movies, but the sermons it's like watching like a YouTube video instead. It's like a smaller bite, a smaller dose. And it's like Chrissy said, it's those juiciest moments that we earned and that touched us all the most.
Yeah, speaking of YouTube, has anyone seen Jeff and Shaleia's new YouTube videos? A lot of you
all of them,
were introduced to the work through their YouTube channel. I know that's how I came in.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's easier to digest than a full class. And like I like the moment, like the editing is so perfect. Like the moment that it starts and then the moment that it ends, like it's a whole complete golden nugget of wisdom, but you're always left wanting more. And I've seen plenty of posts already of people saying like, I watch a sermon, I want more. And that's the whole point.
Yep.
Very
That's what
good.
a taster menu is at a restaurant too. It's the same thing. You receive the perfect portion, but it always leaves you wanting more. That's what true art is about in that space.
Good. So I wanted to open up the floor to see if anybody had any questions for Chrissy or Deanna. So for Chrissy, for example, if you wanted to know what it was like to make the sermons or what the process was like, I have some questions in my bag, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to ask first. So just type them in the comments. And we're really happy to see everybody today, by the way. Thanks for coming. And your question will help others who watch this later. This is going to be recorded and left.
I also, just while we're waiting for questions, I wanted to say that, like, because I witnessed Chrissy working on cultivating all the clips and like directing the editing process. And it was a whole spiritual experience in itself. It was so clear to me that it was a very sacred space that she cultivated to create this sacred product. And I just felt really honored to be a part of that.
That's sweet. Thank you.
I haven't seen a question yet. And oh, here's a question. They lag a little bit, so I apologize if I get it like 5 minutes after you post it. I guess this is for Chrissy. How did you feel while making the sermons? This is Alden asking. How did you feel while making the sermons?
Oh, wow. Okay. So when Jeff originally asked me to do this, I was about to move from Italy to Missouri, and I said yes. And then he said, okay, take a couple weeks and shoot the team your ideas. And I just started laughing. I was like, have you lost your mind? Like, that's what I was thinking in my mind. Of course, I did not say that to my guru, but I worked through my upsets there. And I was like, I just went to God and said, listen, I'm all in, but you're going to have to figure this shit out. I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but it works out. I just claimed it, and I knew when I woke up one day and it was a sermon day. I knew it. And I simply had a spreadsheet. I told my team how I was working through it, so they knew editing wise what not to mess with until I was done. And I just would show up and do it. And I combed through every single class to find these vibrational set points. I went through every single one, just hitting them at different points to see the vibrational set. And I knew when we hit a sermon, I felt honored. When he first told me to do it, I didn't want to mess up because I love them so much. And I love their body of work, and it's sacred to me. And I was just honored to be asked to do this for them and serve the community in this way. And I showed up with my whole heart every day for this. And it was fun. I loved it. I can tell you this, there's no doubt in my mind that I have heard, welcome to another I have heard that more than anyone else in the community. I'm 100% positive, and I guarantee you will never beat me. That is how much I've heard that. Because if I found a clip and it started at the beginning of class, I'd have to go back and find the exact moment to where we cut it. So my cut team didn't have to hear that. Not that they mind hearing it, but we both didn't need to move through that energy. So, but I just felt really honored. And I can tell you that when I was done for the day, I had to move through a lot of upheaval. I had to sleep a lot. Sometimes I was a tad high, not gonna lie, because that's the vibration that I was in.
Spiritually high.
Spiritually high.
Yeah, I can't. Yes, thank you, Leesie. I'm not allowed to do that. Yeah, so like I would have to move through and ground before I could move through another set, and I ended up doing them in sets, and so that's how I completed it, and that's how I felt. Just very honored. to show up and answer the call and do the work of the day.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. So Daniel asks, how does putting these together take you deeper on your journey? I think you might have already answered that. Did you want to say anything else about your experience?
Yeah, I think that it took me deeper into working with the TFU team, because I don't work with the TFU team and the execs as often as many others do, because of just what I'm into and what I'm doing. But I got to intimately work with the team at a different level and help lead in a different way. And I mean, Deanna was in there with me. She even got disciplined at times. And it was just like having that opportunity to work with the team in a different way, work with Marley and Sarah and you, Leesie, and Deanna and the entire team was a great opportunity as well that I really enjoyed. It took me deeper into relationships. It took me deeper into communicating. I have such a deeper love for Jeff and Shaleia and their body of work. And oh yeah, it definitely vibed me up without a doubt.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Shaleia just commented. She's here watching with us.
Oh, hi, Shaleia.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, and she's so grateful. And thanks everyone for investing in the sermons.
Yes, invest. Go get them right now.
With PayPal credit, you literally don't have an excuse anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I'm going to just read some comments because we don't have as many questions. We have really good comments. Diane Long, love you all. Can't stay. I'm working. Any prayers or good vibes are much appreciated. Sending the same. Thanks, Diane. Yep. And this is from Gloria Grace. Chrissy, you feel like an Olympic champion who worked tremendously for the golden medal.
That's
true.
The
beautiful thing is that here, all of us win with you as we are one. Thank you so much for your deep dedication and all the love you put into creating the sermons. Thank you.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. I love you.
That's nice.
Nice.
Daniel Fellon says, thank you, Shaleia and Jeff, for this great gift to take us all deeper in love on our journey.
Oh, yes. You're not here without them. Amen.
Yep. Amen. Exactly. And so that was something that I really went deeper on. This is the first product from Twin Flames Universe that was edited by a student, but that used the creative word that Jeff and Shaleia share, that the creative word from their teachings is alive. It can be used to create things. It's already being used to create things in everyone's hearts. When you heal with all of their products, all of their teachings, it has been so inspirational for so many people to become the masters of their lives and create their lives and be the owners of their lives and co-create with God. So that's the true sign of when you've struck gold, when you found divine wisdom, it can be it just expands on itself in creativity.
Yeah, and I also wanted to say that everyone needs this work. It's the foundational spiritual teaching that should be at the basis of everyone's life. Yeah, it's like learning your ABCs spiritually. It's a requirement.
Yeah. This is also reminding me that for people, like if you're a student of the work and you want to introduce this to other people, invite them to commit to LPC sermons or TFAS sermons. It's a great way to introduce yourself to the work in a deeper sense from just having watched a YouTube video. By the way, I gotta plug this again. I just love Jeff and Shalea's new YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I just they're just amazing. Go visit them. Twin Flames, Jeff and Shaleia on YouTube. Anyway, sorry about that segue.
No,
so happy about all this.
About it.
Yeah, development.
And no, I love that you keep talking about the YouTube videos because that is like one of the number one ways we found them. And it's because every video is like on a specific topic. There's no extra. It's just, this is the truth about this particular thing. Here it is. And that's what the sermons are too. Just taken from the deeper teaching.
Mm-hmm. Golden
Cool.
nuggets.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the purpose behind all of this is to serve you, to give you your next step. And so now I'd love for anybody watching to just go ahead and ask any questions that you might have. It can be about the sermons, but it can also be about your journey right now, because the three of us here in this video have worked through a lot, and I'd love to share and support you.
And it's all, yeah, if it's coming up now, it's relevant.
Exactly. It's going to help other people when you ask a question about anything related to your ascension journey, your twin flame journey, or life purpose class journey. So keep in mind that it takes me a couple minutes to for your comment to come through the live feed, but please ask a question. We're here for you. And actually, if anyone, either Deanna or Chrissy or I have questions, you might ask them as well. One thing coming up for me is, how do I attain more perfection? Oh, Shaleia's asking a question. I was going to ask, how do I attain more perfection in my work? And so I'll get the responses in sermons. We've got two more questions, actually. Shaleia asks, what was the most challenging thing you experienced when creating sermons, for Chrissy?
Oh, wow. It was cut day. I hated it. Like, I had all these sermons, and I was disciplined on time. For what, and I might have crept over that a little bit, but it was definitely cut day, Shaleia. It was a day I had to cut my favorites, and I really had to sit with God and identify the ones I had to take off the list and not. One of them that comes to mind is Nature Wants a Man, when Jeff reads the poem. Oh God, I love that one. Yeah, but there's just ones we had to, it's God was in charge, and I had to cut a couple favorites, and that would say it was the most challenging day for me. It was doing it, moving through your work is a gift. It was cut day. For sure.
Aww.
I hope that also reassures people that even though sermons are the juiciest of the juicy, there's always way more to discover.
Oh,
in the
I know.
teaching.
Oh, Jeff was so passionate in that moment when he read that poem. It just sits in, I loved it. And two of the other ones, all the New York ones didn't make it. The best New York one made it. And those are just such divine moments we had in TFAS together. And those are some of my favorites that ended up not making the cut. It was just rough. That cut day.
Well, if all of the challenges that you could have incurred, that one being the challenge, that's a good challenge to have. That means you got it's like, which of these jewels?
I know.
Yeah,
Right? That's
so funny.
basically how I felt. I was like, which piece of gold, God? Which piece of gold do they need? Which ones do your kids need? It was that kind of conversation.
Perfect. But people can still find those other nuggets in the classes.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I remember Deanna having that moment because I cut one of hers, and she was like, "No, I think this needs to be in there." And I was like, "Deanna, it's a healing class. Watch the next one. I got it." You know what I mean? So yeah, we were all moving through that.
Yeah. It was a very sacred task, and that's when Chrissy mentioned I got disciplined when we were working through it. It was a lot of, that's like a high honor and responsibility to sift through the entire teaching and cultivate. You have to have an understanding of the whole scope of it. And like Chrissy was talking about, the kind of rhythm of the teaching, share, healing, grounding, sermon, what she was talking about, that that takes a really dedicated student. And I'm really happy Chrissy was there to do it.
Yeah, I'm very blessed and very lucky. Well, not lucky, blessed.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Loved. We are very loved. That's Jeff and Shaleia quote. You're not lucky, you're loved. Also made into a really cool meme. People are commenting about your laughs. Brianna says Chrissy has the best laugh.
Oh, I love
Gloria
you.
says, yes, I love hers and Deanna Pierce's laugh too. So fresh and genuine. I'm gonna
Aw.
have to work on my laugh. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Leesie, no, I'm just
Josh and I have very, I would consider our laughs nerdy. I wonder if he's hearing, and he can't hear me, but I'll tell him. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just enjoying this so much. But yeah, we have space for one more question. I can only see from where I am right now 4 comments at a time. So some of you may have asked questions that I didn't get to, but we'll answer them in the comments once this video feed is complete. But if anyone wants to ask the last question before we close up.
I do have one last thing to say
Oh,
that
sure.
just popped in my head, is that if you've been talking to friends or family about this teaching, the sermons are the perfect gift to give them, like Christmas, birthday,
Ooh.
or because it's easy, like we said before, it's easy to digest. And I know, like, when you go to look at investing in Olive Twin Flame Ascension School or Life Purpose class, it can appear intimidating. And so this is just the perfect gift for a parent or a sibling or just anyone who's like dancing on the periphery and is curious about the work.
Yeah, very nice. I was thinking about that too, how the holidays are, or the Western holidays are coming. There's holidays year round for those of you who don't know. There's all different cultures have holidays year round. But it does make a nice time to get a gift for someone. It's an opportune moment to get a gift for someone. So that's a good idea.
And it's an eternal one.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
The sermons would be a great gift. Good. Oh, Daniel's asking, how has life been for you since coming into Harmonious Union? For me, thank you. That's chop wood, carry waters. I kind of want to say that. It's just I don't know, that everything that I'm learning in the classes is true. Everything is true for you too. You're one with your twin flame. You're not separate, and it's an inner knowing, and you learn that in your head, and it's kind of moved to your heart. So that's really the only huge difference, and of course we're growing closer together still, and closer with God, obviously. Like, that's what that entails, and where that takes you. And I'm still learning and watching classes, listening to sermons. The work doesn't stop. It really doesn't. There's no point at which it felt like it took a huge new direction. It's a very gradual path. It's step by step, brick by brick, layer by layer. It just so happened that we put the brick in that connected the separation and or rather healed that layer of separation. It was a very subtle brick. Dink. You can see that in Toronto talks, where we come into Harmonious Union, the 3 couples in Harmonious Union there. It's all just very peaceful, very subtle. And, it'll happen like I think it's a Bible quote. It says, like a thief in the night. You just notice, like, oh, yeah, we're one. Just a very deep inner knowing. And everyone here in the school will have your Harmonious Union with your twin flame and with your life purpose. It really does. It's like 2 sides of a triangle coming and connecting at a point. Like, their life purpose and twin flame journey are one, and then you just go together towards perfect union with God. But our teachers say it best. Deb was saying, I think you mean the sermons, complement the Toronto talks perfectly too. Yeah. Also a nice gift idea. Yes. Cool. Anything else to say, Chrissy and Deanna, before we close up? I've really enjoyed this time with you.
Yeah, thanks for giving me time to talk about this beautiful gift. And yeah, invest in yourself. Go get them. You will not be sorry. They're epic. I love them.
Yeah, and as Leesie just gave the perfect example. She's like a walking testament as to why even once you have your twin flame, you still need the work, you still need the teaching. So
Oh yeah.
just, yeah, it's an eternal investment and you can't go wrong. So
Yeah.
just do it.
Exactly. Amen.
Screw it,
Well, thanks,
just do
everyone.
it.
Exactly.
That's a sermon.
It is.
I just watched that one too. Thank you
That's
very much. I really appreciate you
you.
both, and we all appreciate you. Love you very much, everybody.
Love you too. Love you, TFU.
Love
Yep.
you.
Bye.
Time. Love you.